Hi, everybody, and welcome to week 2, season 2, episode 2 of Zoey's Extraordinary Playlist. This is Zoey's Extraordinary Distraction today, and not a bad distraction at that, let me tell you. How you guys doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I miss you guys. Lindsey, how you doing, baby?
Oh, I'm having a great day. This episode was great.
It is. It's the whole season 1, though, I feel has just been like every episode was bipolar. It was very manic highs, very manic lows, all in the same episode. And now season 2 is just kind of started off. It's almost like the show has gotten on medication, and like episode 1 was a manic low, and now episode 2 is a manic high, which, don't get me wrong, I'm really happy about. I love to laugh, as you both know, as you all know, actually.
I think because so much of season 1 was charting the course of her father's disease and untimely demise, right. Like a human would after someone close to them dies. The show is now having to refine itself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because so far there's not like an overarching long thing like that was in the first season, which is fine. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it makes sense that the episodes would be, a little each week, a little different, while they figure out what they want to do overall for the season.
Yeah, I just know that as high as she is right now, she's walking on very thin ice above very sharp rocks. And soon that depression, that post-traumatic stress and just all of those feelings is going to crack very thin ice that she's standing on. And shit is going to go down, and I am very scared for Max because I know that she loves Max and I love their relationship, but I'm very, very scared that she's not mentally, that neither of them understand where she is mentally and what she needs, because there's nothing better when going through grief than a grief bang. I'm not gonna lie. Sad bangs are the best. They do help. But they're also something that you either get from an already established relationship or no possibility of an established relationship. Not one that's just starting out in a new way. So I'm really hesitant to be excited about that. But yeah, how do you guys feel about Zoey still being at Maggie's?
I get it. I mean, I think she's there as much for Maggie as she is for herself, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially because her brother and sister-in-law just had a baby and they're super busy and hectic with the baby. I think she's really there to support Maggie. It's mutually beneficial for both of them to be there for each other in their time of need. Because if she went back and was living at her apartment, Maggie would be all alone. And, that's a big step, something she probably hasn't done for a very long time, her entire adult life. So I get it, but at the same time, like I was thinking, like, God, I would never, want to like have sex in my parents' house.
Yeah.
It's a little
like
weird,
that's yeah.
with my current situation being the way that it is, it's delicate.
Yeah.
However, I like, because I was, when my dad passed, I came home for like 2 weeks, and that was fine. And then I went back home.
Yeah.
Because you need to, I mean, in the timeline, it's been 2.5 months that she's paying rent in San Francisco and not being in her apartment and not subletting. Like,
although to be fair, I would think, especially with her promotion, she's doing pretty well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That is true.
Her salary is probably not insubstantial. So I can excuse that, but I do think for Zoey as a human, recognizing she's a character, it's important for her to get home, live, back in her apartment and sort of reestablish her everyday life, or else it's going to become unhealthy. And I agree. I'm worried about her and Max. And, TV shows that have will they, won't they relationships, at a certain point, there's going to be ups and downs. They're going to break up and get back together. But I think they're meant for each other in their end game. And it just might be a rocky road along the way. But they're together now, and they spoiler alert, but not really, because we talk spoilers here. They consummated the relationship. And maybe I guess it was later, but and we'll go through everything, but had maybe one of the funniest sex scenes I've ever seen in anything ever.
Yes.
I was dying.
I didn't think it was funny. I just got really frustrated for her. Like, if my vagina could talk, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? I'd be like, I know, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's sure a little frustrating, but for me, it was also pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it took me by surprise. I was like, wait, what? I was like, oh, okay, let's see where it goes. But it was just, oh, it's
well, I
hilarious.
mean, we're already talking about it, so why the fuck not just go into it? So they go to have sex, and Max starts to go, like, he starts to tell Zoey about, like, how he obviously went across to Berkeley because he's like, I went to this very understanding therapist, which has to be in Berkeley. And he was saying how, like, he worked with him and he's been working on a way to block his, like, heart song, which, oh my God, how sweet are you? Like,
right.
Max is nothing if not thoughtful. He is so kind and caring. And I mean, he wants this to go well. He's deeply in love with her, obviously. But then, like, he's like, yeah, we're going through these tactics. I've been practicing. And then as soon as he started singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game, I was like, oh my God, he's thinking about baseball, just like every guy is told to from the beginning. Like, oh my God, that's so, like, I just wanted to punch the writers in the throat out of love for being so perfect and on it. Like,
right.
Randy, girl, yeah.
For myself, thinking about baseball doesn't help because those tight baseball pants are pretty sexy.
That's true.
But I'm in a very particular situation that many other men are not, so I got to find tactics.
Oh, those catcher butts. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
They do squats for days.
They do.
Literally an entire season of squats. And then he starts breaking it up with I'll Make Love to You by Boys to Men, which, let's be honest, Max and I are about the same age. Lindsey's a little bit younger, but when that song first came out, that was like the song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would like I think I was a little too young for it to actually apply to my life because I think I was like 14 or 13 or something like that, like when it came out, and I was like, I cannot wait to make love to this song. And then, you know, time goes on and you get more songs. But this was like the song. And it was so perfect. Like, that made me laugh. It
felt like the exact right choice for Max to be singing that song in that moment.
And just the juxtaposition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game and I'll Make Love to You, like, I kind of want to.
Yeah, every week they put the songs up on like Spotify or iTunes. I'm sad that's not one of the ones they put up.
Didn't?
No.
Oh, how sad.
They don't always put all of them up. They put like 3 or 4, and then some of the other ones that are not as produced, they don't put up. And I think because of that, jumping back and forth between the 2 songs, they were like, we're not going to put this one up.
Yeah, at the end of last season, may or may not have gone on to YouTube and ripped the audio for like all of my favorite songs. I'm just like in there. I may or may not have that playlist that I listen to incessantly, and I may or may not have done that to videos that Skylar has released on his Instagram during COVID. But you know, the world may never know. They're really good songs. But yeah, so they have like this really great little sweet bumbling moment, although it always raises it always raises the question of like, if you guys have been together and you've been dating, why are you so nervous for sex when it doesn't seem like it seems like they went from like making out to sex and like they didn't hit anything fun in between?
Right. Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah,
like they missed some of those steps that they should be emotionally and physically vulnerable for.
Right.
Or is that?
I don't know. I think maybe it's a little different when you're like very close friends with someone first for a long time. There's like, it might be harder to cross those barriers or boundaries.
Right.
Just because, you know, I don't know.
I get that. Yeah.
I was actually, Liz and I were talking, like, obviously they know each other from Spark Point. We couldn't remember if they were friends before or they met at Spark Point, but even so, they've been each other's like ride or die best friends for a long time. So to cross over from that sort of intimacy to sexual intimacy can be difficult. But yes, you would maybe think that in between making out and going all the way, they would fool around in some other capacity.
Do some hand stuff. Do some mouth stuff, guys. There are steps.
We don't know how much time passed between them getting together last week and then this episode. Probably not that much.
Right.
That's true. But also, like, take it slow. Like, you do not have to rush this. Like, actually, taking it slow is the enjoyable part. Like,
right.
Find out where those buttons exist, and then that way, when you have sex, you get to hit them, and it's so much better. Yeah, Brandy, I was just about to say. So when Zoe's part of the fourth, or when she's like the team manager, she reads from her journal and talking about like her first impression of everyone, and she said that she met Max first day, and then she was like, "Is it too soon to say BFFs?"
I guess their bond is just so strong. It feels to me like they should have been like childhood best friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and I love that, but also like, you don't go from making out and like not touching her boob to like having sex with your best friend. Don't be wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't ever.
At one point, he sang to her boob. Does that count?
That is true.
I forgot about that. I mean, that is a little intimate. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes,
but back to some of these songs. So the first song that got sung, so you know, obviously, Baby Miles is born, who is so stinking cute. Oh my god, I'm so glad they got a fat baby because skinny babies scare the daylight out of me. They do. I don't know if it's because they remind me of aliens or what, but like when there's no like fat roll between the head and the shoulder, it scares me. They got a nice fat baby, and her sister comes in and she starts singing Poison.
Yep.
And I don't like to talk badly, but she tried. It was a song she sang.
Danced.
She danced well.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciated the song choice because as somebody who has a toxic sister, this song hit on very many levels.
Right.
Yeah, no, I know. I saw that before I saw that.
I know.
I'm on West Coast and
He
they're on
did
East
not.
Coast. And then he commented like, and I wanted to be like, fucking spoilers, Larry. God damn it.
Yeah. He was listening to it with me.
To a certain point, I like that not every character is like a brilliant singer. You know, if it were a traditional musical where they were actually singing out loud for everyone to hear, okay, then you want everyone. But because it's their heart song and it's just Zoey hearing it, the fact that they're not all perfect is okay with me. And she really gave it her all. Her dancing, you could feel the emotion. And yeah, her sister has issues.
Yes.
I mean, they both have issues. As somebody who has two
sisters,
you're never going to get sisters together and have it be all hunky-dory and best friends. And if they are best friends, that means they went through some crazy shit in the past. I'm talking like markers and razor blades shaving off an eyebrow. Like something happened in their past that they got through that they are now best friends.
There's also I thought, you know, they made a point to mention that it's her older sister, and you always have to consider that there might be some jealousy or pain that your younger sister is married and has a child before you.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, she says it when she and Maggie are taking a walk about how it's really hard to be her older sister because she's always 10 steps ahead of her in everything. Like, well, that's just how she is as a person. Like, you know, if you're feeling bad because of where you are in comparison to your sister, that's something that you need to work on. And I totally get that. Which is,
although, to be fair, if my sister showed up early in the morning with tripe burritos, I'd be very happy.
I love breakfast burritos.
Yeah. I don't know if tripe would be my first choice of protein, but I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, breakfast burritos are kind of a holy item in the food pyramid. But yeah, no, if somebody showed up with tripe, I'd be like, get out of my house.
Well, you're vegan, so that makes 100%.
But even so, I'm not going to eat something from another animal that is used to digest their own food. Like, that just sounds weird to me.
Fair.
Like just, but so we get introduced to her sister, who most families have one of those in it. Whether it's an uncle, a cousin, a sister, a brother, I don't even care. Like, there's always one there. And then we go to Max and Mo hanging out, trying to figure out this new venture that they have. Restaurant, which I'm like, restaurants are always really risky, especially in San Francisco. But I'm so excited for this. And then Mo, yeah, you had a restaurant. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I do. It's very difficult. Very.
But then
difficult.
Mo flipped when Max offers him the contract.
Mm-hmm.
And I got really, really sad when he started singing Too Good at Goodbyes. And I was like, Mo is not leaving this fucking show. Like, I will go kidnap Alex, like, drive them back across the border to Vancouver, and like them to rehearsals every day. Like, I do not care. Like, Alex is not leaving the show. I literally like had a mini panic attack. But can we talk about their wig?
Yes.
Mo's wigs this episode.
I mean, his look, his wigs and outfits are always super on point.
Mm-hmm.
And the makeup.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makeup is always
flawless.
So stunning.
Mm-hmm.
I almost imagine that Alex does it all himself, that he doesn't even need a team to do it for him.
Yeah. Oh.
He just hangs out in the makeup trailer with everybody doing his own makeup.
Good.
Exactly.
But I thought that was the best performance of the episode. That song was, as is usually the case, Alex Newell knocks it out of the park. And I think Rachel froze a little bit, but I felt, you feel the pain and emotion, but those notes he can hit just are mind blowing.
Right.
And the look on Zoe's face, Zoe's just, you could see, I think Jane is such an incredible facial performer.
Yes.
You know exactly what she's feeling without her having to say anything. And I think for these very reactionary scenes, it makes her the perfect choice to play this role.
Exactly.
Yeah. I also love that. Oh
no.
All right.
So it looks like we've lost Rachel. Unfortunately,
she'll be back.
She was having some. It seemed like she was having some internet issues. Yes. So I thought what was interesting about what happened with Mo and his trepidation, that it was revealed later on that it was his fears about how he has behaved in other partnerships was a wrinkle I wasn't necessarily expecting. I thought they would reveal something like he's been left before or, that sort of thing. But the fact that it was his own fear made it far more interesting and I think made sense for the character.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rachel is almost back.
She's coming.
Maybe.
What's
that?
Sorry, I have no idea what just happened. My internet just shouldn't live in the valley right now. So we should have the best Wi-Fi.
Still having a hard time hearing you, unfortunately.
He's coming in. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. It's just very choppy, and you're frozen visually, unfortunately.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Can you? I can't.
I don't want to keep going because we'll miss Rachel's input, but I also don't want there to be dead air.
Right.
But yeah,
the
like
song
Mo,
was beautiful.
It was beautiful, and the revelation later again, like I was saying, that it was his own fear about how he would. Oh, I think you're back.
My internet just.
His own fear about he would handle being in a partnership, and believe me, contracts are scary, and that turned out to be a very simple contract. So that they resolved it and signed it has me excited because I think one of the most interesting things this season is building is their partnership and friendship. And when I know we're going a little bit out of order, but when he said, I guess I got into bed with both of my friends today, I was dying. But then I was also like, wait, you only have 2 friends?
Right.
Aww. What happened to all the other Spark Point bros you used to hang out with?
No, those weren't friends. Those were like work bros.
I guess.
But also, I will reiterate what I said last week. Give me a show of Max and Mo and Simon. I'm here for it. The show was very Simon-light, I noticed.
It was, yeah, it was.
Aside from her telling Simon that since she's his boss, she's going to ride him hard.
Yeah.
Like as she was talking, I was like, freezing, sweetie.
So Rachel, the creator of the show, wants to join us right now if you check Twitter.
Oh my god.
So maybe you should give him the
oh my god
link.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That might be a good idea.
Austin.
Okay, well there's a reason for your internet issues. It was
oh my god.
him.
Oh my god. Do I just what do I okay.
Just I don't know if you can DM him.
Well,
try and DM
exciting, guys. Okay.
I can't DM him. Sorry guys, I'm just freaking out a little bit because I love him.
Just reply to him and say, if you follow me, I'll DM you the link.
Yes.
Sorry for this very erratic turn of events.
Freaking out a little bit. It's fine. Fine. I'm fine.
It's only second episode. Look at that.
Wow. How about that?
What the hell? I'm fine. We're all fine. I'm just gonna drink this bottle of We're all fine.
Yep.
Can I call in? No, you can't. Creator of my favorite thing ever.
You know what? How about next week? Totally kidding.
We're almost done, Austin.
Unfortunately, we are just about to wrap up. So.
Oh my god! How do I? I'm just gonna fuck it.
Yeah, you go ahead and deal with that.
I'm just sending him the StreamYard link live. I don't care. People can try and come in. I will kick them the fuck out.
That works. That's fair and fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. We don't have to be friends. We can just. Oh, and I'm sweaty like a whore in a Baptist church.
Oh, it's okay. It's all right.
I love him. He's so great. Guys, how did this?
See what happens when you never know what might happen when you tag people.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I have been very you guys both know how aggressive my love language is. And I have been like this with him and the cast and the crew and everyone since last season. So maybe he's finally like, oh my god, please stop tagging me.
Maybe.
Like, can you just stop? Because I'm going to send you a contract and it's very simple. It's telling you to keep 500 feet away from me. Brandy, I'm here for it. I will stay on. I have an interview. My first job interview is tomorrow at noon. I will stay up all night if people keep coming in from the show. I do not care.
Come on.
I have nowhere to be.
Come on.
In the meantime, why don't we talk about one of the other through lines of the episode, which was the watch that was overheating and causing fires on people's wrists, and then the dynamics that evolved with Leaf as manager of the programmers and trying to fix it.
Head bro. Yeah.
Head bro. No thanks.
Yeah. It was a little scary when Zoey walked in and all the boys were like huddled around something on the ground.
Yeah.
I was a little worried what was happening.
Yeah. I mean, my experience on tour, that's never a good sign.
Right.
That means something's either very, very wrong and they're trying to fix it, or there's something very, very wrong and they're not trying to fix it.
Right.
Right.
So, yeah, that would be. I was very shocked that I was actually incredibly surprised that Leaf didn't have a very firm grip on being a mayor, because it had many opinions about Zoey and how she handled the situation when she got to be manager. And so now I think he's kind of seen that, you know, it's a little bit easier when you look in from the outside than it is to like be the conductor. Like, it's very easy to be first string violinist. It's very hard to be a conductor. I'm not saying that. I know how hard it is to be first string, guys. Like, please don't come for me. I understand. I have friends who are first strings, everything. Like, it's just, but yeah, so they had their little bro session and they're playing their games, and then they find out that the wrist is, you know, exploding like the Samsungs used to. And I actually was kind of curious whether or not that was a real thing, because the video did seem very like kind of put together in a way, like a very manufactured video of like, this is the type of watch I'm wearing and it's lighting my wrist on fire. Like, it was a lot of information when he should have been freaking out because it's burning his skin.
It felt like a very influencer-y type thing to say, or a targeted attack from another.
Exactly.
But
I feel like it was Joan X's like other companies that like just retaliated because of something that was going on in the divorce. But yeah, Brandy, I'm with you. The guy saying the whole model name seemed fake. That's why I was like,
but I have seen stuff like that on social media before. Where people who want clout are like, my iPhone 11 Pro Max, you know, blah, blah, you know, so, but yeah, I don't disagree necessarily. And unfortunately, we've lost Lindsey. We're just having all kinds of internet problems tonight.
Yeah, and maybe the world's just freaking out because Austin wants to come on. Oh my God, I hope he does. That would be fantastic. Oh, her internet is out. She just messaged me on Facebook. Oh no.
Oy vey.
I'm just going to tell her to come back in if it gets fixed. Come back if you...
Thank you for bearing with us, friends, as we deal with some technical snafus.
You know what? It's still like, it may not be 2020, but we're still in a pandemic, so everything is still forgiven. It's fine. We're being as professional as we fucking can. But yeah, I was really sad about that. I'm really sorry. I'm just going back to my notes to see where we were.
It was also interesting how quickly George wrapped himself into like the programmer mind frame.
Well, I mean, I understand because he's more of a joiner, and like I feel like he's a chameleon and will do whatever is required of him to like survive and like get through, and like, you know, he has these. I mean, we saw it at the end of the last episode when Zoey hugged him and like he was telling her how like those small acts of kindness are massive to him. And like you and I both have like that super soft heart where, you know, it's the same for us. Like, people give me a hug and like tell me they hope I have a good day. Like, and I feel like it's heartfelt. Like, I'll start crying because I'm an emotional creature. So I feel like he's starting to settle in, and I felt like he was starting to kind of go down that Tobin path a little bit too far, and I was getting a little worried. But then we got some girls in from the 5th floor.
Yes. So when we met them in the elevator at first, my first thought was, are they going to build like a rivalry?
Oh.
But I'm glad that it ended up going, because when one of them, I don't know their names yet, said, you know, when's the last time 4 women programmers were all in the same room together? That made me happy. And I think for a show that's created by a man who I think is incredibly talented, it's always done a nice job and continues to do a nice job with gender roles in the workplace. And I think that was a big part of the antics we saw from the programmers, that there was no balance, that when you put a bunch of men together, especially tech bros, they're going to play games like Nut Punch and Burn the Wrist and whatever other nonsense.
I literally made a note while I was watching. It said, men left to their own devices dissolve into chaos.
It's true. I've seen it firsthand many times.
And I will say this is just as a comment for this situation. I do believe that the exact opposite is true, that women left to their own devices, like, will dissolve into chaos at some point. but it takes a little bit longer. We tend to stay a little bit more focused for a little bit longer, but eventually we're just going to be sitting around drinking some wine or whiskey and kicking off our heels and talking about how, awful the men on the 7th floor are. Like, who cares? Like, that's just, it is what happens when you get a bunch of people of the same type together. You just find it. Yes, Brandy. I was actually thinking that too. I'm very excited for more girls. Maybe another love triangle with Leaf and Tobin. I don't know if I want a triangle, but I'm definitely excited. Like I said, I want that. Oh, yay, she's back.
I'm back.
Yay! I don't want a
Lord.
love triangle with Leaf and Tobin just because I want Leaf and Tobin to get together, which I think I said last week.
You did.
And also, as much as I love Mo's song, I think that it was a tie for best song this week between Mo and Leif because, oh my God, please let him sing as much as he wants.
Yeah, he's super talented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
My favorite was when. Oh, go ahead, Lindsay. Sorry.
I just loved the choreography with the chairs. And then they like put the arm up and then they put it down and then I was like, that's brilliant.
Dude, Once again, Mandy Moore's choreography is just spectacular.
Mandy knows how to use props and scenery and just everything around her is a tool for her to use. And she is so talented. Like last season.
Not everyone loves La La Land. I do, but I think you can't deny the choreography, and that is impeccable.
Yeah, but I mean, even last season when Simon invites Zoey over for dinner after the breakup, and he's still singing Mad World in his kitchen. That entire dance of him in that kitchen was just like, I was like, he's literally using everything at his disposal. And I cannot wait. Like, it's just, she's amazing. And the actors are fantastic.
As Brandy said, it is a different Mandy Moore than the This Is Us / A Walk to Remember / Made Me Cry More Than Most Other People Mandy Moore.
There's Candy Mandy Moore, and then there is choreographer Mandy Moore.
Correct.
And when
different
we
Mandy
Moore on this show, while we still love Candy Mandy Moore, we're talking about choreographer Mandy
I will
Moore.
always take more Mandy Moore of either Moore, Mandy Moore, more. But something else happened this episode that we sort of theorized or talked about last week that we were wondering if it was going to happen. And I was like, oh, they did it so quickly. And that is that during a Heart song, Zoey started duetting in real life with the Heart song.
Yes.
Which was amazing and perfect.
Oh my God.
And the way the camera would spin around and you would hear the backing track cut out.
Yeah, and see her.
And then cut back in was so beautifully executed.
I did love the look on his face when he was like, what are you doing? Right. And I'm like, which makes me wonder, like, because he knows that she has this ability and he knows his own feelings, like, is he fully aware of what his Heart song is? Because he looked incredibly surprised to see her singing something back to him. And I don't know if it was surprised that, she was singing the same song that he was, or just the fact that singing, or
right,
because she did say, oh no, I know this one, I can sing with you on this, which I thought was adorable because as we all learned from the first season, she has no musical knowledge whatsoever. Like, I think it's called Moonlight. Yeah,
that was such a great scene, and a moment like this felt like a great love song for Max and Zoey.
Right.
Yeah. It was very, very sweet. I was feeling
it. It was.
Yes.
They're the best. Guys, I'm so excited. So the girls, I was really excited that they kicked off, like, I'm glad that they kicked off 3 of the guys from the 4th floor that, like, nobody knew, like, they were just there. Right. They're fantastic dancers. Don't get me wrong. Everybody needs a good
Leaf might as well have been like, all right, extra number 3, extra number 9, extra number 12. You're going to 5.
Just call sheet numbers.
Yep.
17, 12, and 3. Thank you so much. It was almost like a scene. It was almost like one of the cut scenes from a chorus line. Step forward and thank you.
Absolutely. If you're in the front row, you're moving forward. If you're in the back row, Thank you so much for coming in. Better luck next time.
I kind of wanted one of them to start singing "Let Me Dance for You."
Oh my God, if they could still do something like that.
They could.
Or if it literally broken into "I hope I get it." I hope I get it. That would have been great. But there's only so much time.
That is true.
There's only so much time for these episodes.
I mean, I'll sit through a 7-hour episode. That's totally fine.
Sure. I would too. Although that would make these after shows very long.
And we don't need anybody guessing. Where is he, by the way? I'm very curious. Austin, if you're watching, you can please come on.
Yes.
Click the link.
You don't have to have a camera. You can just use the mic.
I know.
That's what you're worried about.
You don't have to slap some beauty products on. We know. It's understandable. It's almost 10, and I'm pretty sure he's on the West Coast. But yeah, so there was so many fun songs.
Mm-hmm.
I did like going back to Leif, Baby Did a Bad Thing was such I don't think we've heard anybody sing out of guilt yet.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that was a new emotion that got heart sung tonight. And like I said, Leif can just sing whatever he wants to. He's so talented. Like everybody in the show is so obnoxiously talented. Aside, and Skylar gave it his best to make "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" sound sexy.
There are just some songs that no matter how hard you try, I don't think you can make sexy. But again, hilarious.
Maybe a remix and not a literal, like I could hear the organ in the background in the back of my mind. Like maybe if there was like a Timberland remix or something. Like
right. Yeah.
I feel like that whole scene for him must have been a real gift as an actor to have to play all of that, go back and forth, and then be a little silly and sexy and romantic all at the same time.
Right.
Really fun material to play.
I would have loved to know how many like takes it took for them to get that scene done, because like that's got like, first of all, that takes so much trust in the person that you're in that scene with to not break.
I'm sure there was breaking, that's what,
right.
It's a good thing most shows shoot on digital today and not film, so they're not wasting buckets and buckets of expensive film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. But they did such a great job, and I, like you said, I do love the way that they shit with the sound and the voices as they were singing to each other.
Right.
Then they wake up the next morning because they had a perfectly empty house. Because Maggie and Alice's sister had gone over to Alice and Andrew's house to watch the baby so they could have a date night. And then they wake up the next morning and everybody's downstairs.
Could you imagine just being like, Mom, could you make an excuse to get out of the house so I could sleep with my boyfriend in my childhood bedroom?
Oh, goodness.
Stop narrating my life.
The kind of relationship you have with your parents.
I appreciate that. We're alive. I mean, I don't think she asked for it, but she definitely took advantage of it.
Right.
Yeah. You got to take advantage of the time you're given. But then there was like this really beautiful, like crazy, stupid love moment between Alex and Max when he was like, "If that wasn't my sister you were just kissing, I would high five you." And they had like this whole like,
yeah.
Like I was literally waiting for him to like turn to him and slap him across the face and be like, "This is gonna be fun." Like I was waiting for it.
I thought he was gonna be like, "Way to go" or "Good job," but it was his sister. So
right,
like good job. Like finally, like everybody in his family, in her family, knows how much he loves her. Like she was the last one to know, and it was only because she heard him sing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when he went to tell like at the end of season 1, when when they're saying goodbye and everything, Max takes Zoey over to the house and then they're spending time together, and Max goes and talks to Mitch, and then he goes to leave and tells Maggie that he told Mitch how much he loved their daughter, and she goes, "I'm pretty sure he already knew." Like everyone knew about Max's feelings for her except for Zoey.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, everyone at Spark Point seemed to know too.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't spend 8 hours a day like with somebody in a direct eye line that you are in love with and not have it show in your
it's kind of it's kind of like The Office too. Like everyone knew that Jim was in love with Pam, except for maybe Pam, until eventually she did.
Yeah.
I think Pam already knew. I think that she was just trying to like pull it down because she had like a dumbass fiance in the warehouse. But that's another show for another time. Well, I don't know if Austin's actually going to join us tonight, guys. That just got me really, really excited. But we'll see. We'll still talk for a few more minutes, and then we'll go into our heart songs for the week. What are you guys predicting for next week? So the episode ends, and we see kind of some jealousy developing in the coming future with, Zoe's still going through her grief process, and Simon is literally the only person in her life that has gone through it before her that she knows. So, she goes to talk to him, and there's some, Simon said from Max.
Right.
So what do you guys think is brewing coming up? What do you think? Do you think Zoe's about to crack, or think she's going to hold it together?
I mean, the reality is Simon and Zoey have a different connection they can share over the grief, because he also lost his father. And, we know Max and Simon are friends, although it was kind of odd not to see them. Well, they were at least in the first episode.
I think I'd say friendly.
They had become friendly because Zoey was hiding out in her room.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think it's going to continue on with like a triangle so much as they're just going to realize that they can help each other out with different things. And Zoey is Simon's boss now, which is funny.
Yes.
Her ascension at Spark Point was quick.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know how. I mean, the reason that I agree with you, the reason that Max and Simon were friendly was because, Zoey was hiding out in her room. But now Zoe's hiding out in her room with Max and not Simon.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So, because that's literally all she's doing. She's pulling Simon into her grief or she's pulling Max into her grief process and not going out and like busting through it. She's still staying in that cocoon and dragging him into it with her. Because honestly, what should be happening in a healthy person, which none of us are, let's be honest, is that she should be.
What you're talking about.
Right, we're all so together. What
in
she
2021, I am as healthy as can be.
What she should be doing is going out and talking to a professional, and not just her, but the entire family, doing individual and group trips, not staying in her mother's house for 3 months after her dad died. Starting something new, like developing outwards instead of pulling inwards. So I think that what happened, like, isn't that what a black hole does? It just sucks everything in until it expands again and explodes. And I feel like that's what she's on the verge of possibly doing.
I can see, speculating about what we saw in the little like next week on Zoe's.
Right.
I could see a conversation developing where Max is like, you can talk to me about these things. I am here for you. And also here's the number of the therapist I've been seeing. Sort of thing. But, I think he can and should and probably will make it clear that he is there for her in many ways. And that includes being emotionally vulnerable. Because he was, he was there through it. He had a relationship with her dad. He cared about him and vice versa. He saw the pain. So he's not immune to those feelings either. So even though his parents are in the picture, and I think we're going to see them this season.
Well, I mean, we know that Max doesn't. First of all, we knew last season that Max didn't have a great relationship with his dad, and like that's why he bonded so closely with Mitch, was because Mitch was so open and welcoming, and like I used to joke that my dad had more kids than a rock star, because like anybody that we'd bring home, he would just adopt into the family, and like I would go years without talking to somebody, and then one day my dad would be like, "How's Kathy doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. Let's call her." And then I'd get on the phone, and my dad would be in the background and be like, "I told her to call you." Like, like he was just that kind of guy. So I understand Max going through that, and then in this episode we find out that his dad has never told him that he's proud of him.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, that's something that a lot of people in our generation go through. Like, you know, we're ridden so hard to like succeed and being told that we can do anything, but like unless we succeed and like hit that mile mark, we're like, we're not told about how proud our parents are of us until we reach that, because you haven't gotten there yet, so there's no need to be proud yet. Like, I get it. Maybe that's just me. This is therapy hour with Rachel. It's fine.
It's not just you. I've spent thousands of dollars on therapy talking about how my parents, especially my dad, don't tell me enough that they're proud of me or that I'm doing good stuff, and that can be tough to navigate.
Yeah.
But I think one of the special things about this show, and I bring this up because while watching it, every third commercial is how This Is Us is coming up after.
Yep.
Is the contrast between the two shows is I think the emotions and the texture in Zoey's hit harder because it's complemented with the music and the humor. I used to watch This Is Us and I stopped watching it because at a certain point it just felt like misery porn, where it was just one dramatic thing after another with no levity or balance. And at a certain point that got suffocating. And I think even the greatest drama films of all time are so successful because they have a balance. Because life is not just one emotion or one genre. And this show does such a good job of that. And so the painful moments and the sad moments hit even harder because these characters are allowed to be happy and allowed to experience joy and love and sex and guilt and dancing and singing, you know? So every time a This Is Us commercial came on, like, you guys should watch this show and figure out how to balance it a little better.
Yeah. There's definitely a difference between like straight drama and like dramedy. Like you have to have a balance. Like I said, the last season was every episode was so bipolar. It was manic highs and manic lows all at the same time. But you have to have that balance.
Right.
Like,
yeah, but that's
as low as it goes. That's how high it's got to go to balance everything out.
Well, that's my experience of how life is. Life is bipolar. Yeah. And any given day, you can feel high highs and low lows, and be sobbing one second and experiencing joy the next.
Stop talking about my life. I thought we talked about that.
I'm talking about my life. If we have these things in common,
you're talking about my life,
Lindsey.
Let's get real here.
I feel like somebody needs to write like the bipolar anthem right now. Like, let's just do it.
I'm pretty sure a lot of bands between like 2004 and 2010 on the Fueled by Ramen label wrote that song.
Yes. Yes.
I'll double check that. I have.
Yeah, just a theory.
I mean, I'm sure August Burns Red has a few songs. It's fine.
My other like, I don't know, speculatory, but my hope is that they find something for Maggie to do.
Actually, that was going to be my prediction. Because they were talking about how hard it is to turn things off. She's like, I can't get out of that setting of not helping. Like, that's all I can do now. I wonder if she's going to contact Howie and find out what she can do to become like Howie.
That would be great.
Because she has that in her. She is such like a giving soul and like a caring spirit. Like, and if that's how they bring Howie back, I'm fine with that because I love Howie and I want Howie back.
Or her and Bernadette Peters start like a grief counseling club or something.
Oh my God, the Ladies Who Lunch, and they can sing the Ladies Who Lunch.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, please.
Austin, if you're listening, please make dreams come true, or tell me I'm right and that dreams come true. Because I know
the way, if you are watching, if you're looking for smart, knowledgeable people who know musical theater and emotions to help you write some episodes.
And know the way around Vancouver.
Well, I don't know my way around Vancouver, but
no, I do. That's fine.
It's fine.
I'm just a bubbly person.
I'm just saying.
We're a whole package.
We are a package deal. We are very, very well faceted. Yes, 100%. But yeah, so I think that would be such an interesting way to move forward with Maggie's character. So that like while she's going through this grieving stage with Bernie, please tell me Bernie's going to be back.
It definitely felt intentional that they made a point to show that she's still on these forums, and I do think it's going to build towards something.
Yeah,
Right.
I hope so. I hope that so much.
Because Mary Steenburgen is so incredible. And as great as she is as the family matriarch, I would hate to see her just stuck in that role for the rest of the season. She can so much more she can explore as a character and an actress.
Sorry, I'm just messaging Austin right
now. Hi,
now.
Alex. How are you?
What?
Alex Shashek is in the chat.
Oh, hi, sweetie.
Hi.
Sorry.
Hell no.
Sorry.
She said, just to be clear, I'm not here for the show. Well,
I mean, which show? Our show or Zoe?
Yeah.
No, Zoe. She says, as in Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist.
You should 100% give it a watch. Alex, you would love this so much. This is like the one show that I can recommend to every single person and be like, look, if you haven't gone through it, you are going to go through it. The experience of losing a parent. Watch this. It helps.
Yeah.
If your friend is going through it, you can help them out by watching this with them. You can understand the levity that, or the balance that humor and song can bring to grief. Like, it is such a beautiful show. And it's not so like, it's not like everybody's bursting out into song like every 5 seconds. Like, it's musical and enjoyable, but it's not a musical that's being like shoved down. Maybe
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow, girl. Not yet. I hope so.
BB Newirth should be in everything.
BB Newirth should be in everything.
Yeah.
What do you think, Lindsay? What's your predictions for next week or for the coming time?
I feel like it's going to cause tension between her and Max with Simon coming back to play. But I think she's going to, it's probably not going to be next episode, but coming up, she'll probably have a, where she's unsure of what to do, or she hears a lust song or that he sings for her, and she's like, oh yeah, I remember. Ooh, I wanted you at one point, so now I want you again. But it's just gonna go like this and then this, but then she's gonna go back to Max, and it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be together at the end of the season. Like, I think that might be like the big emotional break at the end of the season. It's like her and Max like splitting up because of something that she does or something she doesn't do, or something that he thinks she did that I don't know. You know how people don't.
That's a good point.
Shows, and that's the only thing that's wrong. Yeah, I'm excited for the next few episodes. The whole thing of it. Like, just give it to me now, please. Just let me inject it into my veins.
Yeah, it's gonna be a ride.
Yep.
I'd like to see more with George too. After he had a big role in the first episode, he had a smaller part in this one.
Right.
And I thought he was such a delightful character.
I hope he makes friends with one of the girls. Like, I hope that they have like a little mousy, quiet girl that like just does her job and is really badass, and he just like is in awe of her.
Right. Yeah.
I'm really excited to see how the new girl programmers fit in and what their characters are like, because I think they're introducing them to expand on them, not just to have them there.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
And I mean, that's honestly, like, when you said that, when they introduced the other three, like when she got into the elevator and like there were 3 girls and they like had this whole like solidarity moment.
Yeah.
In my heart, I knew that they weren't going to go the whole like 4th floor versus 5th floor, because they already tried that with 6.
Right.
And also they don't like, this show doesn't like pitting females against each other. And I love that, because it's such a tired trope. Like, every time that happens, I want to put my heels on and like storm into someone's office and like push their papers off their desk.
Wasn't the 5th floor under construction last season?
Wait, what?
Wasn't the 5th floor under construction last season?
Yeah. Is that where they met?
I thought it was.
I mean, maybe.
I don't remember.
If it was, they finished and opened. That's fine.
You have a great memory.
I mean, I remember them meeting on a floor that was under.
Yeah, I thought it was 5, but I don't know.
It could have been, which just raises the question: who's running the 5th floor? Are they going to bring in?
Maybe it'll be BB Newirth.
Maybe Vivi.
Oh,
Vivi
good.
and Vivi and Matt West. That would just make my heart so happy.
Or since they had Renee Elise Goldsberry, they could bring in Philippa Suter on the 5th floor.
Stop it. Don't.
Casting ideas.
Don't get my hopes too high. Don't get my hopes too high. And then they can bring in Jeremy Jordan, and
Well, if Jeremy Jordan came in, then I would understand if Zoey was like, you know what, I'm going to go with him instead of Max.
Me too. All he needs to sing is Santa Fe. And I'm like, yep, I'm going to go with Jack Kelly. It's totally fine. I mean, to be fair, he's already in Vancouver. So,
yeah.
Interesting.
Why not take advantage of that 2-week pre-COVID already? Like, scan his forehead and let him.
And again, I remain pleased and delighted that the show is just ignoring COVID.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things that, like, I remember when 9/11 happened and Friends didn't acknowledge it, and that felt like such a massive slap in the face. But this, I'm like, this is an escape.
Right.
Right,
I
yeah.
understand,
Long enough.
So I understand why medical shows or police shows might want to do it, but for this, even Superstore, I get it because like big box store workers were such a essential part of survival in March and April when everything was really shut down. But this, I'm just glad they were like, you know what, we're just going to keep doing it, and we don't even have to mention it. I think it's the right choice. And I know I've read interviews with a lot of different showrunners that it was a huge discussion in their writers' rooms. How do we handle COVID? Like I remember what you said with 9/11, The West Wing did like a special one-off episode where they talked about it out of the continuity of the series. And then when the series picked back up, it didn't happen in that world. So any TV show can really create its own universe. It doesn't have to be the one we're living in, even if it is a more grounded show. I mean, this one has magic, so it's not that grounded. But it is also in many ways.
I mean, it doesn't have magic. It just has a magical, fucked up MRI machine or CAT scan machine, whatever.
Yes.
Either way,
Says the random thing would be weird in public with masks on.
Yeah, I need an MRI of my brain, so
yeah, let's
go.
I miss live theater. Can I just get an MRI and like have an earthquake? Like we had one the other night, so it's California. Just literally, I'll just wait in the waiting room until it like starts shaking, then like run in and dive in head first.
Yeah,
push somebody out. Like it'll be fine. But okay, so we've discussed the episode. We've discussed what we think is coming up. Now, my favorite part about all of this. So I love talking about heart songs because it gives such like an in-depth look into a person and their feelings and their reaction to things and how they process events. So this week's heart song question is, what is a heart song what is a song that always gets you in the mood? Because this was a very special episode for Max and Zoey, and we're very glad that they got to have some sex. Good on ya. So guys, what is a song that always gets you in the mood? Lindsey.
Well, mine's more kind of like sentimental. I wish I had like an upbeat song, but mine's All of Me by John Legend, because that's what we had our quartet orchestra play when we left the aisle after we got married. So
And your anniversary was recent, so happy belated anniversary. Your wedding photos are absolutely stunning. That's such a great song. I mean, first of all, John Legend just has a voice.
Yeah.
You're like,
funnily, we had a performer at our wedding, and that was one of the songs he sang.
A performer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just some guy.
Yeah, performer. Of no particular note or renown.
Nope. No one knows this guy or the name or the shows he's been in. Totally nonchalant.
Oh no, it might have been Just the Way You Are by John Legend, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh, Just the Way You Are is good.
I know.
Liz.
She's in the chat.
So Max, what was your what's the song that always gets your engine revving?
Mine is definitely one that's a little more sexual, and it's Liz said it was just the way you are. It's Untitled by D'Angelo.
All right.
Which was also sang at our wedding. And is also in Magic Mike XXL.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very sexy song. So
yeah, that's a good movie right there.
It is.
Actually, funny enough, I it's literally my yardstick for my depression. If I watch Magic Mike XXL and the scene with Joe Magliano dancing for the gas station clerk, if that doesn't make me laugh, like if I don't laugh during that scene, I need to call someone.
Well, it's the moment when she smiles.
I literally tweeted that out one time and like tagged Joe in it, and he responded back and was like, "Are you okay? Is everything fine?" I'm like, "No, oh my god, I love you so much." I've actually shared a bottle of tequila with him at Warped Tour one year, which was really fun. But no, I was like, no, I'm just saying that should that day come, I know that is the thing that's going to let me know I need to call someone, because I always watch that movie when I'm sad, and it's the perfect pick me up in more ways than one.
So what's your heart song for getting in the mood?
Well, I mean, it depends on the mood. I haven't been very relationship.
Your assignment.
I know. I haven't been very relationship based. Like both of you are like happily married, like with people that adore you, and I've been this gypsy traveling the country and hooking up with bartenders, and that has been my past. So in the past it would have been something along the lines of like, and this is awful, but Animal, or
sure.
like that would be one of them. That one always just, I mean, the bass line, it just gets in your nether regions and just makes you happy and makes them do a dance. I think the sexiest song that will always like make me swoon is oh my god, Mumford & Sons. I just had it in my head. I had it written down and now I don't have my notes. I Will Wait for You.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Because being somebody who was on tour for so long, you move around a lot. Even before I was on an equity tour, which we'll explain that later in a future episode. With an equity tour, you're in town for like 2 to 3 weeks. You're in town for 1 to 6 weeks usually, unless you're the Lion King and you get to sit down for 3 months in Hawaii. I hate you guys. In the winter time, you get to spend Christmas in Miami or in Hawaii. Yeah, I don't like you. But when you get to sit down for that long, you can actually like have a chance to meet someone. Whereas before I was traveling, literally the shortest amount of time I spent in a city was 13 hours. So not a lot of time to make a connection. So hearing the words "I will wait for you" would always just like, it gets to you.
I will wait for you.
And also
I don't want to get struck down by YouTube. Sorry.
Oh,
but also that music video is on fire. It's perfect.
It is. It's great. Yeah. I agree.
So those are those would be my heart and nether region songs, I guess.
So Liz, Larry, random bartenders, if you're listening, you know what to do.
No, I actually have a bar that is raised above ground level at this point. Or maybe not. Find me on a sad day. Who knows?
If Rachel is watching and tweets about watching Magic Mike XXL, that's your time.
Yep. Yes.
Just send me that Spotify link. In Lakeland. Do you guys have any questions or anything you want to throw in? We're just about done, but I know I let Austin know that he is welcome anytime, and if he wants to follow me back,
anytime.
I told him, I was like, we're on 15 more minutes if you want to join us. If not this week, then any week, follow me back and I'll send him the link every week, and he can pop in whenever he wants, because
absolutely.
Oh my god, I want to vomit love all over him.
Me too.
He's just great. I have to keep it
Sir,
like
what you have created is brilliant and lovely and wonderful. Well, I'll
it's
save it. I'll save it. I'll save it.
amazing.
yeah, it's fine. I mean, not that I'm never gonna stop gushing love over, but as I've been tweeting, I'm trying not to use the word gush a lot because I'm like, that's aggressively gross, but accurate. Just want to gush my love all over you. It's fine. All right. Well, we are at the end of the episode, guys. I'm so excited for next week. I'm excited to hear the heart songs, the frustration, the sexual frustration. I'm excited. How long do you think it's going to take for the baby to have a heart song?
Oh, I guess it depends how many years the show gets to run for.
Oh my God. If they literally make the baby, if Zoey is watching the baby and hanging out with her brother and the baby starts singing Lullaby by Billy Joel, I am going to just curl up in a corner and die. Like literally, I'm going to crawl into my closet underneath my dresses, move my boots, and just sit there with a blanket over me and just dissolve into a puddle of tears because that will literally undo me. I cannot explain how much, but I would love to see that. So, okay, so why don't we go around the horn? Everybody say where you are, who you are, where you can find you. Lindsey, go for it.
You can find me at Noob Blondie on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at Cinemaxwell, Instagram at Cinemaxwell Inc. And you can find me most nights that aren't Tuesdays, except some Tuesdays as well, on the PJ Campbell Network, where we do watch-alongs. And this Thursday, my show Front Center Mezzanine is back. We're interviewing Jennifer Tepper, who is a Broadway producer, programming director at 54 Below, and author of the Untold Stories of Broadway, volumes 1, 2, and 3, and she's working on 4, so that's going to be fantastic. That's 10 Eastern on Thursday.
She's amazing, guys, and I would say go watch that show, but I'm also doing the show on Thursday, so
I know I hate that my show and your show is on at the same time on Thursdays, but only every other Thursday.
I was about to say you're on every other Thursday, and I want to talk to you about your schedule because I would love to get you on Movies, Music, and Mayhem, which I have every Thursday. This week I have, sorry, I literally should have been prepared for this as we were talking, but I have Paul Preston.
Oh, woo! I'm love
so
Paul.
Excited. Yes,
we've had Paul on some of our shows on the network. He's so funny and wonderful.
Yeah, I realized I was going through who I had on in 2020, and I had Adam on, and I was supposed to have Paul on the next week, but something happened, and I wasn't able to get him. So I was like, this is going to be great, like a double movie guys week. It'll be so great. But then he wasn't able to come on, and so I had to like reschedule him, and I never rescheduled him.
That picture of him is pretty funny, though.
Yeah,
I don't know what's up with his eyes.
I literally asked him. Whenever I invite anybody onto Movies, Music, and Mayhem, I clear their schedule, and then I'm like, hey, if you have any photos that you'd like me to use for the thumbnail, please send them over. Otherwise, I'm doing a deep dive into your Facebook and Instagram, and who knows what I'm going to find and put on. And he sent me that one.
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, fuck, yes, this is...
I mean, that sort of perfectly sums up his energy anyways, and I love it, so...
Like, kind and jovial, but yet, like, he will fuck you
up. Dark, with like a little mischievous side, like maybe he's going to bite you and eat you?
Yes.
It's a little sexual, but I'll take it. It's fine.
I said what I said.
Yeah, I said what I said. But yeah, so I've got Paul Preston on. If you follow me on Twitter at RM Silvestrini, I have my full January schedule set up. I'm so excited for this. It's going to be so great. I am most excited that at the end of the month, literally the last day of January, I am having Ash Crossan do a watch along with me for our favorite movie of all time, Out Cold. I cannot express how excited I am for this. Like, this is
Ash is awesome. That's a big get.
Yeah.
She's amazing. We've met numerous times, and literally every time I'm like, I'm the girl on Twitter that you tweet to, that we have out literally just like nothing but Out Cold quotes. And she's like, oh my God, I love you. I'm like, I love you. Like, instant friends. Love it. It's so much fun. It's Zach Galifianakis' like first big movie. So much fun. Please come join. But follow us all, Twitter, Instagram. All of our links are down below. We are going to be back next week at exactly this time, 9:15 Pacific, 12:15 Eastern. Come join us, and hopefully we'll have Austin on with us, that would be amazing. Tweet at him if you would be so kind and let him know that we want him on the rewind. That would be amazing. Is Paul a zombie now? Who's Paul?
Find out on Music, Movies, and Mayhem.
Yeah, we'll find out. Yeah, come to it on Thursday. I was like, Paul. I was back in Zoey mode. I was like, but yeah, thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. I love both of you, and I can't wait to see you again next week. So until then, everybody, cover your face. Don't go outside. Stop touching strangers.
Yes.
And get the vaccine as soon as humanly